Thank you, Fawaz, for the introduction. I came across the term revenge travel recently. It's not a new term, but it's new to me, and it bothered me. And I was thinking, enough already. Over the past couple of years, we've been stuck inside, we've been told to stay at home, stay away from other people, our work lives have been disrupted. I'm confused about the masking mandates and requirements and vaccines. And the idea with revenge travel is they want you to get back at those past 2 years and exact revenge on it, take back this lost time. And I'm thinking, at this moment, I just want to sit and take a deep breath and relax. They say we're in like that transitional period where we're going to have to learn to live with the COVID virus. We'll see how it ends up. But right now, I want as less stress as possible. But I started reading more about revenge travel because I was just curious about this term. And I realized that revenge travel wasn't exactly what I thought it was, that everybody's escaping and spending a lot of money on themselves and luxury cruises and premium flights. It's about reconnecting with family and friends and ourselves and living in the moment. We never know when something like this might happen again, and we shouldn't take our time with others and our plans for granted. We should just go ahead and do it before the next catastrophe. And that's the theme of my speech today, and I want to inspire you, and I think we're all members here today, just to think about maybe what your travel plans or your plans for the rest of the year look like. But I prefer not to use revenge travel, and I've been thinking maybe it's a time to like regroup, recollect, relax, rejuvenate, or maybe just to remember that some of us are still struggling through the pandemic, and we might know others who are struggling as well. So I kind of just view it as a time to relax and not be stressed out. And to inspire you, I was thinking this summer my revenge travel might include going back and exploring some of the lesser known monuments in central Maryland. And this hobby started about 5 years ago, and I haven't been really hiking as much over the past 2 years. But the hobby started whenever I saw signs on Interstate 70, probably about 40 miles north of Gaithersburg here in Maryland, that said Washington Monument. And I've always been confused because it's pretty far away. It's about 60 miles, or I looked it up this morning, 97 kilometers, we're at NIST, so 97 kilometers away from the giant obelisk down on the National Mall. And it finally occurred to me that it was a different Washington monument. I did a quick internet search, and there's several Washington monuments throughout the United States. And the first Washington monument was built in Boonesboro, Maryland in 1827, and this is what the sign advertises. And I got even more excited because I realized that this Washington monument was about a quarter of a mile or 0.4 kilometers away from the Appalachian Trail. And my best friend's brother had just thru-hiked the Appalachian Trail in 2017, walking just over 2,000 miles. I didn't look that number up. 2,000 miles from Georgia to Maine. And I thought, how cool is that? I want to go see the Appalachian Trail. It's about an hour drive away from here, and see this lesser known Washington Monument. I called up my friend and I said, let's meet up. Let's spend a day to go explore the Appalachian Trail and the Washington Monument. Because we didn't want to just drive to it. We wanted to kind of experience walking in the woods, talking to each other, just spending the day having fun. And we parked at Greenbrier State Park, and we got a side trail, and we climbed up to the trail, not like hard climbing. I'm thinking about like rappelling and like having harnesses on. But I say climbing because it was half a mile uphill of walking over all of these rocks until we got to the main trail. And after that, it was easy going. That was the hardest part, was that first half a mile. And it was 3 miles of just walking in nature and seeing trees, listening to birds. And after the 3 miles, we come up to a side trail that says Washington Monument. And I'm getting excited Because I've been seeing these signs for like the past 7 years, and I'm thinking, what is this thing? And I'm walking up, and we go to the side trail, and we see the first Washington Monument, which is this guy right behind me. It looks like a jug made out of stone that's just standing in the middle of this rural area in Maryland. And when we get up there, we sit down, we take a break, we have our sandwiches, and you can climb to the top. There's a staircase that goes to the top, and you get this beautiful view of rural Maryland. And we were there in October, so it was fall, and we saw the changing leaves and migrating hawks. They call them Sharpies. And we saw a bunch of enthusiasts there that were watching. They had their binoculars that were watching these Sharpies flying and migrating through the area. And as we were walking back, we were thinking about, well, what other monuments are around in Maryland? There's the National Mall with the big impressive ones, but are there other things in the area that we can explore that we might not know about and learn about history along the way? And in the time since then, we've walked about 20 miles of the Appalachian Trail, and we've seen Gathland State Park, which has a monument to the Civil War correspondents. Sometimes they fire old cannons. We've seen monarch butterflies chewing on the milkweed next to a chapel in the field out in the woods we came upon one day. We've sat on Weverton Cliffs and looked out over Harper's Ferry, which is at the corner of Maryland, Virginia, and West Virginia, and saw dozens of hawks and vultures just kind of swirling around in the sky. And this summer, I really look forward to seeing if we can kind of make progress on hiking all 40 miles of the AT in Maryland. That's my next goal, is not only coming across these monuments and learning more about history in Maryland, but also, can I do this 40 miles? It's become a goal for me. And as I mentioned before, as we're moving into the summer months and nicer weather, I encourage you to think about maybe things you might want to do this year, whether or not you're going to go all out, luxury cruise, you're going to just spend up your bank account having fun, or maybe you just want a quieter time. And that's my reminder to you too, is that kind of that getting away and relaxing and travel doesn't have to be stressful and full of revenge. It can be as simple as visiting maybe unknown areas in the neighborhood around you. Thank you.
So, Nikki, it was a great speech. I really like how you started it in the sense that you said revenge travel. I never heard of that, but I have heard of bedtime procrastination, which I do a lot because usually during the weekends, following the month, like Sunday, the night of Sunday that leads to Monday, I would just stay up and then because I don't want to go to sleep and then Monday has arrived and then I have to go to work. So I've heard of revenge bedtime procrastination, but I've never heard of revenge travel. And I also like how you kind of put a nice twist on it. Like you don't really like that term, so you put your own flavor on it. And I also like the nice theme of the story, which is just hey, I'm hanging out with friends. I've also started going out hiking. So a lot of actually, I think I've been to one of the places you mentioned, but I was just gonna say maybe later I'll just email you for like the list of places you went and you mentioned, and then yeah, that would be someplace I can go to. And I enjoy going out, and it's usually free if you go on certain days of certain federal holidays, and I really it, when you were giving your speech, you kind of just made everyone knew like, okay, this is a pandemic. Everyone was inside, but you can still have fun. A lot of people think of it as revenge, but I like to think of it as a good thing, and instead of a bad thing against the pandemic, you're doing a good thing for yourself. So I like the perspective. I think even though it was small, it was really good. I also like the way you use your hands, and also I like how you ended it. That was a way that I think I didn't write out the actual goal, but you said something about 40 miles that hey, I want to trek the entire 40 miles. I'm sorry I didn't write that down, but I really like the way you ended that, and also you ended a call to action like, "Hey guys, you can just blow up your bank account, or you can just hike." I really like that too. And since the speech was about using your voice, I would say you have an amazing voice. Like I would literally listen to an audiobook with you just talking. You do. You have this very soft voice, but one thing like there's from the evaluation form I got, all of them will be on the effective side. You have good projecting, is vibrant. I would say one thing is like the variability. You could be more, I guess, it depends on what part of the story. Like if it's more dangerous, you could kind of speed it up a little. And honestly, I'm saying this, but your voice control is better than mine. I know I have terrible voice control, so I just want to say yes, you have an amazing voice, but and if you're telling a story that doesn't really change a lot, it's amazing. Your pronunciation is amazing. Your articulation is smooth, fluent. I really like it, but I would if I had to pick something, and I am nitpicking, is the fact that this speech wanted you to vary it, make it variable. That's the thing. Just hey, I want to show emotion. So also you might have to change your story to kind of have that part where like, hey, maybe lie and say a bear was chasing you, so you have to get a little loud, stuff like that. So I would say that's kind of part of it too. Your story has to incorporate the change in emotion. But honestly, as I said, you have an amazing voice. It's very smooth, very comfortable to hear. And thank you for your speech. And I'm looking forward to your next one.